my gosh, I'm back on my YouTube grind. I know, man, sometimes it's just hard to be consistent with YouTube videos because life gets so busy, but I really intentionally in 2022 want to bring you more content because you guys ask me for it all the time. Snapchat family sent me a list of Q&A questions, and I said, you know what? I told my girl, Katie, my producer, I said, girl, let's do a Q&A video. And let me check in with the peeps. So it's a new year. I'm feeling refreshed. I hope you are too. I hope that you're being consistent every single day so that way your goals are starting to look clear this 2022. And then they're saying, esto es lo que están diciendo, de que supuestamente este año, since it's 2-2 and it's like the numerology behind el 22, there's something mystical about it. They're saying this is like the year to make shit happen. And so Q&A, let's start.
At what age do you think parents should start teaching their kids about money?
I wish my parents would have talked to us more about money. I wish it was a normalized thing in our family, and it wasn't. There was a lot of reasons on, my dad would tell me, you know, comprar una casa, buy a house, but I never really understood the why of to buy a house. Besides ownership, like, yeah, it's mine, but I never understood the equity you could get in a home and having to save money and your credit score being on point. Like, these are critical things. As soon as you, as an adult, as a parent to this child, have a better understanding of money, when you're educated in financial literacy yourself and you really understand it, that's when you should start explaining things to your kid. We deal with money every single day. Every single day, somewhere in the world, transactions are happening, whether it's a credit card or whether it's cash. And so why are we so afraid to talk about these things? You cannot teach what you don't know. So to answer your question, I would say as soon as you have a grasp of finances, yeah, teach your kids, teach your sisters, teach whoever's gonna be willing to listen, because we will thank you later. I love my financial coaches that have made me understand and see things like I did not see before.
How can I teach my daughter not to let people take advantage of her kindness?
That's a really, really good question. I mean, as a mom, I'm sure you wanna, you know, go punk somebody because they're maybe taking advantage of your daughter's kindness, but I think that it goes back to, I'm a big believer that kids repeat something that they're seeing, right? Because we learn better, we learn by what we see versus by what we're told. Even as adults, I think you can relate to that. Like, don't tell me, show me, so I can follow your example. I would say learning boundaries at a young age is a beautiful thing, but sometimes maybe you as her mom aren't necessarily the best at implementing boundaries. So again, it kind of goes back to like my last question, like how can you teach something you don't necessarily know? So maybe it would be cool to maybe have like an internal inventory that you do of yourself. Like, hey, where is my daughter learning this from? Is she just nice? Is she just too shy? I always tell my nieces and my nephews when I'm around them, when they try to be shy, and you know, it's like they know what they're trying to do, but they're trying to be shy about it. And I'm like, hey, speak up, use your voice. Encourage my nieces and my nephews, or quite frankly, anyone that's around me, but especially kids. I encourage them like, hey, you know your voice? Yes, use it. Speak up. Don't hold it in. So I would say encourage, have more conversations with your daughter. Ask her maybe where is this coming from? Maybe have conversations with yourself and take some self-observation and say like, where did she learn this from? How can I become stronger when it comes to setting boundaries, so that way your daughter is not getting taken advantage of. And it could be that she's just really young and she's out there just exploring life, but you're her coach. So don't ever forget that.
What motivational quotes do you live by?
This quote, a lot of people always ask me, what does my shoulder tattoo say and mean? It says, live and let live. And to me, that is one of the most powerful mantras in life. Live and let live. Vive y deja vivir. Live your life and let other people live their life too. It is such a peaceful way of living. It's a drama-free way of living. It's like live and let live. It was so powerful that I got it on my shoulder. When you're like that, Te salvas dolores de cabeza. On my last tattoo that I got, it says Te amo. I mean, I'm not gonna miss this. Te amo, that's a self affirmation to myself, and I look at it, it's in beautiful font.
What's your favorite place you have visited in your travels?
This is my honest answer. Every single place that I've gone to has had something beautiful. Colombia. I mean, the traditional women that walk around Cartagena with baskets on their head, and they're like Afro-Latina, super dark, like beautiful. Then I go to Machu Picchu, which is in Peru, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Stunning. Then I go to Belize, and I mean, it is so hard to pinpoint. My answer to that is I have discovered beauty in every single country I've gone to. Belize, I had the most amazing experience. I went in March of 2021. And we actually, since it was like COVID times, right? We actually went to see the ruins. We traveled in a boat in like a swamp for like an hour. We saw alligators. It was so beautiful. And we actually got to the ruins. It was myself, my assistant, one of my business partners, and our guide. 4 of us into this National Historic Park, and we got to experience the energy of the pyramids in Belize, us 4. There was nobody there. And then we had this amazing homemade lunch that our tour guide, Randy, shout out to Randy, in Belize. He's like, they have this thing in Belize, they say, please Belize it. So his wife ended up cooking traditional Belizean food for us, and we ate, the 4 of us, and then we jumped back onto the boat. It was such a beautiful moment in Belize. So to pinpoint one place would be a lie, because every single country I've gone to, the food's been good, the people, there's beauty in every single country. So yeah, when you gotta traveling hard, the last thing you're gonna do is pick one destination, because they all make an impact on your soul.
What has been the lowest point in your life? How were you able to overcome the challenge?
One of the lowest parts of my life was when I almost was gonna lose my house. It was right after my last breakup 4 years ago. And you know, when you're with somebody, you create a partnership and you kind of sort of like depend on each other, right? But it taught me so many lessons. And I remember financially, it was a partnership, you know, that I was going through with this person. And when he broke up with me, it was like, it threw me off. It threw off my finances. It threw my whole entire soul off equilibrium, it felt like, right? So when I tell you, like, I understand what heartbreak is, it's a whirlwind of emotions. You literally feel like a hurricane of emotions, and that's normal. I actually have a whole video about my last breakup, but that's like old news. But anyway, if you go look at my YouTube videos, you'll find it. Yeah, it was a point in my life where I was like, I am about to lose something that I worked so hard to like get. No, get your power back. I started literally having to remind myself of who I was. I had what's the character in The Lion King? Not Mufasa, the little boy, Simba?
Simba.
I had a Simba moment. I used to call it a Mufasa moment, but then I realized Mufasa was a bad guy. But it just sounds better, the Mufasa moment. But it was really a Simba moment where I looked at myself in the mirror. Mirror exercises are so powerful because it's you with you, literally like staring into a mirror. And I looked at myself in the mirror and it was like, remember who you were before you were in this relationship. For a moment, you know, in partnership, you let your guard down and that's okay. But I literally felt like in a way I forgot who I was and who I had been and who I was becoming. But you just forget a lot of things sometimes in relationships because you get so lost in the love, in the relationship, in the person. And it's just like individuality is so important, even in a relationship of 2 people. And I just had to remember who I was. And let me tell you something, y'all. I came up with money in 3 months. When you set your mind to something, I came up with that money, what I needed to not lose my house. My credit score went down a little bit. It was crazy. But I'm so thankful for that moment because it humbled me and it taught me so many lessons. And we back. Yeah, that was one of my toughest moments, but I learned a lot, so much.
And what keeps you motivated?
Standing in my purpose and knowing my purpose every single day. Knowing that God uses me through my platform and through just being a full, like when you become a full expression of yourself in this world, and you understand who you are, and you understand how you move, and you understand how you're being used by a greater force, which I choose to call God, you move differently. You move differently, and a lot of times you're obedient to your intuition. So you wake up, and let me tell you, not every day is glorious. Not every day is like a wonderful day in the neighborhood, right? Some days are cloudy. Literally, just like the weather. Some days are cloudy emotionally and some days are sunny emotionally. And you know what though? When I have bad days, I embrace them too. I don't sit there and beat myself up. I'm just like, if I feel like doing nothing, I'm gonna do nothing. If I need to just cry, I'm gonna cry. If I need to just roll into a roly-poly in my bed, I'm gonna do that and not feel guilty about it. What keeps me motivated is my ability to live in my purpose, to recognize my purpose, and to be the full expression of myself that I know I'm meant to be every single day. And when I'm not, to be honest about it too. Like, I'm human. I ain't a robot. And I'm living this life just like you're living this life, authentically though. I love me and I love being who I am, and that's a beautiful place to be.
What has been your biggest challenge in life?
Finding and creating balance. Truly. Because I think balance is one of those things that you have to create it. You have to create balance. Otherwise, we're gonna be too much of this or too much of that, right? So to me, breathing, like really just literally bringing yourself back to center and creating balance, because if not, I'm gonna lose it, right? And I know that about myself. So it's like I have to intentionally do things to create balance, because I could be an extremist. I like to work. I like to make money. I like to be social. I like to talk. I love sharing energy and space with other people. I'm very, I guess, passionate about everything that I do. Even when I talk, even when, you know, when I'm in a group or with one person or on a microphone, I love people. I love to communicate. So finding the time to create that balance can be challenging, because I'd rather just be like, I'd rather work, or I'd rather travel, or I'd rather do this. But it's like, no, just come back. Remember who you are. Remember your essence, so that way you can continue to have fun in whatever you do. But yeah, it's always been a challenge for me to find balance, but I feel like I'm improving. I know how to slow down. I know how to calm down. I know how to like lower my tone. I know how to be soft, feminine, gentle. And I like that, because before I used to be that girl that was just like, go, 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 go. And it's like I didn't know how to stop. And now I enjoy stopping and I enjoy chilling. And yeah, but finding balance sometimes for me could be a challenge.
What are your thoughts on affirmations and reprogramming your mind?
Too many people don't do affirmations right. I think affirmations are beautiful to say, like when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, because who are you talking to? Like, I talk to myself a lot, but I love this affirmation specifically. I love who I've been. And I look in the mirror when I'm like in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth, after I'm done brushing my teeth, because I like to say my affirmations with clean teeth. Affirmation that I say daily. I love who I've been. I love who I am. And I love who I am becoming. And that is my affirmation every single day. I know there's people that have lists of affirmations, or that you can even listen to affirmations on Spotify or YouTube or whatever you go to. But affirmations are it. It's a way of living. You gotta affirm what has not happened as if it's happening already, right? And you gotta believe it. I think my entire life has been literally a manifestation of what I've spoken into existence. You say your affirmations to yourself, and you also share your affirmations or what you want to manifest to the circle around you that actually wants to see you win. We're living in a day and age where it doesn't, like campaigns like milk, it does a body good. We know that that's not the truth, right? Don't get me started on my on my dairy-free life, but reprogramming of the mind is really unlearning a lot of the things that we were taught that worked for the past generation, but don't necessarily work for this generation. Yeah, reprogramming the mind, especially in this day and age, we need to reprogram the mind to learn things that are actually gonna work for us, like financial literacy, like how to deal with, how to get out of toxic relationships, how to deal with, what is emotional intelligence, like different things like that. So reprogramming and affirmations, yes, I'm about that life. If you want to win, you got to think differently, and you got to reprogram your mind to think a certain way. And sometimes the way our parents taught us or what we learned in the history books or whatever doesn't work.
How did you become a homeowner so young?
Actually just got tired of renting, and finally my dad's words hit me, you know, in my 30s, and I was just like, why am I making somebody else rich? Why am I paying somebody else's mortgage? It just hit me one day when I was renting a home, and I tried to tell the man that I was renting his house, hey, I want to buy your house, sir. And he was like, well, I'm not selling it. And I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go house hunting. When you are gonna buy a house, it's something that you gotta flip in your mind and tell yourself, like, okay, we're buying a home, because you gotta prepare yourself. You cannot just say one day I'm gonna buy a home and then not have a down payment and then your credit score is messed up. Everything has to like literally be in order before that can actually happen. And I started preparing myself. I started saving money. I started asking questions. I started asking my real estate friends, like, hey, how much, I've never bought a home before. Like, what programs are there out there for first-time home buyers? And I would just become curious. Become curious about what you want to do. Learn as much as you can about it, and then execute. I swear, you guys, when I bought my house, I felt like it was like so fast. It was like 30 days, offer got accepted, woo, 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 and home inspection, closing costs are covered. It was just like, boom, everything just happened easy. It felt like it. And then after 30 days, I literally, like, they're like, here's the key to your house. And I was like, I'm a homeowner. Like, oh my God, I'm a homeowner. This is crazy. So prepare yourself. I would say my biggest advice is prepare yourself 2-3 years before it actually happens.
Would you ever consider writing a book?
You know what? In my head, I've written like 4 books already. I just haven't done it. And I want to write a book myself about, what would that, you know what, actually, if I could write a book, which I'm going to, absolutely would consider it, and I have considered it in my head, and I'm gonna do it. I just don't know when. But it would be cool to hear suggestions in my comment section of this video. What should the title of my book be called? Like a lot of people, you guys, we all have different layers. You know, there's the businesswoman side of me. There's the lover in me. There's the daughter in me. There is the sister in me. There's so many different layers. To me, there's the woman that loves to cook. There's the woman that's loving and affectionate. So, I mean, I want to write a book about all my dairy-free, you know, recipes. Being the daughter of divorced parents, I don't think there's enough books written about that. So there's different kind of books that I want to write. I'm just gonna take this as a sign from God, like, okay, God, I know you're talking to me, that I gotta do it, and I gotta start. And it's so funny, you guys, because I've been writing in journals since I was like 13. There's some people that express themselves better on paper. So I don't want a ghostwriter, I want to write my book. So, because sometimes when you get ghostwriters involved, it's just not your voice. Unless this person knows you. So yeah, this is a sign. I gotta compose and get all my notebooks that I've been writing in for years and turn it into, yeah, just, God, the possibilities are limitless. See, now my mind is just like going.
How do you stay positive when all signs are pointing to a burnout?
That, I have enough self-awareness to know that I'm going into a burnout. I used to be that girl that I would crash and burn, work my ass off, crash and burn, get the flu, get sick, get up, rest for a couple of days, keep it. It was my life, right? Especially being on the radio and just doing so much in LA, and crash and burn. That could have been my nickname. Until my mom one day was like, with that lifestyle, you're gonna age so fast. This team no sleep vibe, it's not cute. It's not cute, like you need to sleep 8 hours, you know? Always listen to your body above anything else. Heart palpitations, if something hurts, like listen to that. If you feel like a bump somewhere, listen to that. I encourage you to be able to listen to yourself, to your mind, to your body, to your soul. When you do feel like a burnout is coming on, honor it, baby. You gotta honor how you feel. You gotta honor your thoughts. You gotta honor if things are feeling off. Honor it before you get to the burnout. Take some time to yourself. Go get a massage. Self-love on you. You won't get burnouts if you remember to fill your tank up first. Promise. It's been so amazing connecting with you guys again. I needed this. I needed to be in front of the camera, and I felt like a good way to kind of just get into my YouTube vibe again was do a Q&A video. So this is why I did it. I hope you guys loved it. Type in the comment section, what do you think a good title for one of my books could be? Because that just might give me inspo to say, you know what? And to just not stop writing. So I love you guys. Mwah. Stay tuned, and more videos are coming. Okay, this I'm gonna be more intentional about. Bye.